That's live. Said Spencer Dinwiddie, he can't say that, huh?
I ain't even trying to knock the man. I just I feel like a lot of basketball players think more of themselves than what they show on the court, I guess. But also, I'm not a major basketball guy, so I could be wrong. But I think a lot of times it's like you're a piece of the team. You're not the guy. There's only a certain amount of superstars in the NBA. Like, yes, everybody can hoop, everybody can go out there and get buckets, but are you really every night 25 pluser?
And if not,
then shut up. Shut up, box out, and go give me a rebound. Like, do what else I need you to do. But I'm just saying,
knock down open shots.
That's all you're getting paid
for. That's funny. It's true.
Or be like Patrick Beverly and piss everybody off and play defense. Or
do your job.
As who said that about him? Who the one said he had them fooled? All he do is just run around and make noise on the court. I forgot who said that about him.
Pat Bev, he knows his role though. He plays his role well.
I would love to have Patrick Beverly on any team in any sport because you need people like that. It's ugly, but you need it. It makes teams better because you know he might only give us 7 points over 4 games, but he's going to play hard and he's going to do something that contributes to winning. So,
yeah, that's.
Shared yours, Kerry.
Huh?
I shared the one you posted.
Bet that up. And that means we good. DeMarcus, you good? You shared it? You know, you big share king, the big share guy.
Marcus, you really look like you sitting on the toilet, concentrating.
Sitting on the toilet. Sitting on the toilet.
I'm feeling good right now.
Today's episode brought to you by Gas X. Get the same.
Gas X or Metamucil. All right, but so we here, man. This is the Be a Light podcast mission statement. We do no more mentorship for mindset development, career ascension, education, and leadership cultivation. We also have our DNA, which is being authentic, positive. We respect sex, race, religion, political views, and preference. And we like to have a great sense of humor, like to be funny, like to keep it real. Like to really help people unlock their lights because the light within is the way. It's the way. It's not the light outside. It's the light within. It's the only way we're gonna really find true happiness, true wealth, anything that's real. So, welcome back to the Be a Light podcast. Your boy K.Sloan here with the homies.
J.Jones.
J.Jones. Brain.
It's your boy Nate G.
Then we got the wise wisdom, MrliftN'Go.
If you know, you know. He ain't gonna introduce himself. So,
but what he does have for us is a little cap or no cap. Let's get into that. Why are you doing that?
Because it's DeMarcus.
You don't do that when you're on the pulpit.
I was on the phone. Anyways,
you don't
cap
do that on the pulpit.
Cap or no cap. Oh, that person. Negro. Lala Anthony brought up a topic that went viral, or however you say it, caught fire. And the question was, is marriage still a goal? So I guess the cap or no cap would be for us men on the podcast, because we can only speak for ourselves, and I'm pretty sure we all got different views. Is marriage a goal, cap or no cap? Is it still a goal, cap or no cap?
are we talking about for us or society?
Both. I'll say for me, just to start it off, I'll say no cap for one thing. I'm married.
There you go. There you go.
The purpose. But the reason I say no cap for me is that nobody hears the good about marriage because people are enjoying the good about marriage. You only hear the bad about marriage, which to single people or the people that are being vented to, they hear the bad about it. And I believe that has created a negative overtone for marriage in itself, which for society norm right now, it looks great to be single and winning and all that stuff. But you don't hear the good about marriage because they enjoying the good. So I say no cap.
Yeah. I say for society, no cap. Like you said, I think everybody enjoying their hot boy and hot girl summers. I think society kind of.
So marriage being a goal is cap or is no cap? Are you saying
marriage being a goal? Marriage being a goal is cap. My bad. It's cap.
Oh, okay.
To society, not for me. You know, I'm about to get married.
Yeah. No, you definitely about to get married. Yeah. Go ahead, put that out there. Go ahead, put that out there.
To society, I hear a lot of people say like the market just said, all the negative. Like I'm gonna be with this one person for the rest of me. You know, like I want to live my life and have my options. A lot of people are okay with being even side chicks and side dudes and everything these days. So I think society kind of tells us that marriage is not a goal, it's to have fun and live your life. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
I say it's cap too. And that's as a married dude, I take a different point on it and say, really, it's cap to me because I don't think that's what you should be goal-oriented towards in a relationship. Like you start dating, it shouldn't just be like, I'm looking to get married. I've heard that story a lot of times of that was my sole focus. I ended up marrying somebody that wasn't great. I ignored a lot of red signs, red flags, because I was looking for marriage. And I thought that was what the end goal was. So I don't think it should be something that you're actually looking for. It's a good thing. You know, I'm not knocking marriage, but let that be something that organically like progresses to get you to that point, not just a goal that you have in mind. So it's capped for me.
I got a question though before I answer. So for you, Nate, do you feel like so are you saying that people shouldn't date to marry? Is that, or are you saying
no, you should
that you
date
should
to get to know people? You should date to build relationships and see where they go. Like, of course, the natural progression is it's going to be met. Look, truth be told, even my wife knows this. Like, I told her, like, when she's like, what made you decide to marry me? We were at such a good point that I was like, okay, what comes next? That's get up and go to K. Jewelers. Shout out to K. Jewelers if y'all want to sponsor us. We're taking up But, you know, it was like, now I'm going to start taking these steps of, I think I'm ready for this. One, you got to know if you're ready for that. Just going into something with the mindset of, I'm 25 years old, I'm 27 years old, whatever it is, I should be getting married. That's not a good way to go about it. If you ain't ready for that, you can't force yourself to be ready for it because it's a goal. So date, grow with somebody, build a real relationship, figure it out. Figure out if that's somebody that you really want to spend the rest of your life with, for real, right? If that's somebody that you even can see yourself with for the next 5 to 10 years before you even get to a whole life kind of thing, right? So that's why I say it's not a goal, it's a progression. So
yeah, I see that. I see that. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead. I want to hear y'all married men. Speak on this.
No, I want to hear from the only single guy out here flaunting his loins.
Flaunting my loins. Okay, I'm King T'Challa out here, bro. What you got going on, man? You got me out here, okay? Nah, man. I guess my thoughts on it is, you know, marriage being a goal is capped for the society nowadays. I agree with y'all saying that because I think I was listening to somebody talk about the simping culture, like the idea behind simping and the idea behind what is it when women basically, what is it, slut shaming is simping, right? Those are so prevalent in our culture now that it's making it to where marriage is not becoming a goal anymore, right? Because now it's like all the guys, it's like you saw for that. Like, why you over there doing all these nice things for her? And then it's making it to where it's like, when you doing things for somebody, you courting a woman, right? You courting a woman, it's not popular no more. That's women will look at you crazy for courting them now. Like, it's not, we're not in that day and age no more. There's a lot of women that's like, I could do it myself. Like, why are you opening that door for me? Why are you buying these things for me? Why did you pay for that meal and then ask me if I want, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, it's like the stuff, if you older, if you like 30 and up, I feel like it's difficult sometimes dating the culture, somebody that's embedded in the culture of how we see dating now. Like, I feel like it's difficult because it's just a lot of like blurred lines. There's a lot of blurred lines and roles undefined, as we put in the doc. You know what I'm saying? It's just things that you just, marriage is not a goal. That's why all to say marriage is not a goal no more. It's now like, you go out there, you go get yours, and then while you getting yours, you're gonna find somebody getting theirs, and then y'all gonna link up. That's what it almost seems like now to me. Like, it seems like now you gotta find a running mate. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta be in the same zone. And this is coming from somebody that's single, because for me, no, I'm not just walking around here looking for a wife. That's not what I'm doing. Now, am I being a husband every day? In my mind, I feel like I'm developing that mindset. You know what I'm saying? Y'all being married men, or, you know, soon to be married, J.Jones, y'all kind of had to adopt a different type of mindset to be able to come together with somebody else. And I'm aware of that. So I'm leaving that in my mind mentally, that I'm trying to, like, okay, be ready, you know, for that moment. But I mean, bro, honestly, I think it's cap now. Marriage is not the same goal that it once was back in the day, where it's like, you know, we looking, you know, baby, let's get married. All that, that's not where we at no more, bro. We not there no more. Jagged Edge is not, that's not the goals no more. Now it's just like everybody's confused and
use that
trying
song
to,
right there. What did they really say in that song? We ain't getting no younger, we might as well do. You really ain't tell you, like, I really feel this strongly about you. Like, we should get married because I can't live without you. Like, girl, I'm 33 years old. You might as well, like, down. Like,
but you with your dog already though. You already with the one. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why are we playing with it for? Is what I got from that. It's like, it's almost like, what you say, DeMarcus?
No, we should be calling women dogs.
Your friend, DeMarcus. Your friend. You with your friend already. You happy?
I'm just saying, I don't want nobody to take it the wrong way.
We're not calling women dogs. I'm saying though, if you look at it from just, bro, I can't stand this dude.
Okay.
I should have listened to Jarrell. I should have listened to Jarrell.
Yeah, don't let him back. Don't let him on.
Stop letting him back. Gotta stop letting him. You just keep letting him back.
Like, he gonna want to
week after week.
Like, give him the code, but don't let him in the Zoom. You know,
just so let him sit there. Like, let him sit there in the room, just waiting.
Y'all done? Yeah, we done, bro.
We'll get you next week. Next week, we got you, bro. We got you next week. No, this is definitely gonna happen. But nah, for real, I think that's an interesting topic. We could really unfold it. And ladies, you know what I'm saying? If you listening, bring your perspective.
Harry don't want to get married, so
man, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I do want to get married because I understand, bro, marriage is a hack. It's a life hack. Y'all know, all y'all married dudes know marriage is a life hack. Once you get married, life gets simpler. It's like the focus goggles go on. Now you ain't got all that extra stuff to worry about. You ain't got to worry about presenting yourself in a way that's, you know what I'm saying, trying to, you know, mate with girls. It's like, you ain't got to do that. You can just do your thing. You can do your thing. It's like you can be focused on your dreams, I feel like. That's where you want to be, versus having to stop going on your path and then being like, okay, what's good with y'all? What y'all got going on? Like, it's like hey, how y'all doing? It's like, man, sometimes you get tired of kicking game, bro. Man, sometimes you get tired of kicking game. So look. Oh my gosh, I can't do this with y'all. This conversation with y'all's face. Because I'm looking at y'all's faces and y'all like y'all keep doing that. There you go, drink that water. Y'all keep doing that. But sometimes the game do get old, bro. It do.
Father Time is undefeated in every game you play.
Say it again.
Father Time is undefeated in every game you play.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. And that's what it is. And I think you know, and I do feel like it's a life hack though. It really is. All my partners I know that's married are doing really well and doing things I would respect. So with that being said, weakness as a disease. I kind of wanted to address this real quick because I think that there's a very big issue with people that are accepting, I guess, so many things in life. Like there's so many situations where they just like letting things happen to them, and they're not taking control of situations. They're not taking like ownership. I've been reading this book on ownership by Jocko Willink. You heard of it? Extreme Ownership. Jarrell, I think you heard of it, by Jocko Willink. He talks about like how basically everything that happens in your life is pretty much your fault to some degree. Like, you know, that's a basic ground level understanding of humanity. It's like you had a role in everything happening in your life. And then just going forward from that thought, it's like, bro, I really feel like weakness is a disease. I feel like being mentally weak, being physically weak, being spiritually weak, being relationship-wise, being weak there, it's all a disease because it affects one another. So it's like, if you weak here, then you set weak stuff over here from yourself. You set weak stuff over here from yourself, and you kind of keep going with it. And vice versa, like on the inverse, you got strength, which, you know, strength begets strength. So like as you start doing strong stuff over here in your spiritual life, then you may be more inclined to work out. You may be more inclined to, you know what I'm saying, strengthen relationships with your kids, stuff like that. I feel like, you know, it's like the disease and the cure are both, you know, they build on each other. It's like you have it stacked. And I kind of want to speak to y'all about that, you know, just kind of overcoming that weak stuff, man, just weakness, just being, you know, just, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, you know, I don't really see myself, you know, like that. Like, you know, shying away from opportunities, you know what I'm saying, having that imposter syndrome, just a lot of that type of stuff. How do y'all combat that mentally as men? You know, because those thoughts come. They do come. They're not going to get rid of the weak thoughts totally. They're going to show up. But how do you fight against that?
You acknowledge them, and then you tell yourself something different. Honestly, like the thoughts are the thoughts. Sometimes that's one of the most interesting things about the human brain to me. I don't know where some of my thoughts come from. I have absolutely no idea. They just pop up. And I'll stop and be like, dang, that was wild. That didn't really make no sense. And I move on about it. So if it's thoughts like that, it's like you can have that thought of weakness, but what are you going to do with it? Do you choose to live in that and make that your truth? Or do you want to make being strong your truth? Like, since we're just saying strength and weakness, like, but it's really just not becoming your own thoughts, ultimately. You are your thoughts to a certain extent. I know we probably said that before, but not becoming your negative thoughts is what I would say. So it's normal to have them. You can, I think doubt is real. I think doubt is realistic for everybody at some point, but there's only one way to find out if you can or you can't, and that's to do it. So just telling yourself that you can't is not going to do you any good. If you tell yourself you can't and you never do, then you just really don't know. You just never tried. So you already failed.
Yeah, at that point, you ignorant. You don't know. You really don't know, and then that turns into fear. Nah, for real.
I think weak. I'm gonna equate it to like football. Like when you weak-minded in the fourth quarter, you become undisciplined. You know, like the strong-minded people, they know the play. They're gonna run the play right. In the fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter, the weak people, they become undisciplined. So I think, like I just said, weakness is kind of being undisciplined. When you get weak, it's almost like you just do what you need to do. But when you're strong-minded, you have that strength. It's almost like you disciplined. You have that thought, but you know, like, oh, I don't need to go toward that thought. I'm gonna stay disciplined and do what I need to do. I'm not even gonna entertain what I just thought. I'm gonna keep my mind on the goal. So that's kind of what I would think about it. Like when I used to always see the people in the fourth quarter players, the disciplined players, the best players were always disciplined. So, and they was always strong minded, like Kobe.
Like Kobe, the bean. That's real.
It does take a strong man to say he wasted a whole year in which he had kids.
Oh my God,
bro! It take a strong man to just deal with the level of dedication it takes to be number one at something. Like to be called the best, you definitely battling all of your insecurities like aggressively. Like you have to confront that stuff because people for people to say that you're somebody of high esteem and put you up on that type of pedestal, bro, you definitely didn't battle some demons. You didn't battle them demons. You went through them fights. What you think, DeMarcus?
I think weakness, kind of to piggyback on what everybody's saying, but I guess with a different perspective. I think strength is moving to and through those spots where you feel weak or where you feel weakness. Yeah, we all gonna feel them. Some shy away from them, some run away from them, some run to them, some run through them. Like I said, with discipline and sacrifice and having a strong mindset, those are the people that are going to run to them and run through them. And you find out that what could have been your weakness or what you thought was your weakness was the fear of not actually getting through something. For the most part, once you learn what it is you have to run through, like I've always been a person, I'd rather run through the bush than around the bush. You might get scratched up, you might get scarred up, but once you get on the other side or get through the other side of that bush, then you get to move on to another level and learn from your weakness so that you know how to navigate and move through it the next time. And also, it builds a strength in you because when you come across that again, the weakness doesn't overtake your mind and paralyze your body or paralyze your mind in some sense. Sometimes we just get paralysis in our mind and we just get stuck. But once you move through that, then you get to understand yourself better and understand, yeah, there might be a weakness, but I can still get through it. You do 100 push-ups, do 200 push-ups. You gonna feel weak. You know, you might feel like you can't do another one. But if a situation happened and say you on the ground just tired and you got to get up to do something, then you'll get up. If you can do 100, if you could do one, you could do 100. But it's part of that discipline and part of that getting through those weak parts to understand that from weakness comes strength. You just got to get through
it. I will say another thing. Sometimes, because we're not all perfect, you know, sometimes we do have points where we got to let God take over too. Because sometimes some battles is his battle. You got to turn to him. And that's how that kind of goes in. I think that makes you believe in God. When it's something you can't handle, you're like, hey, Lord, I need you. You know, I really need you on this one. And he handles it for you. It builds that faith in God. So I think sometimes he does put you through battles that you probably can't, you know, do by yourself. So let God be God. So.
But that's a weakness too, that when you give that to, that's a strength in a spiritual sense. So if you give that battle or give that acknowledgement to God, then in essence, he'll show you either how to get through it, get around, or he'll eradicate it for you. Yeah. But you also got to be able to be strong enough to take it to him, to ask for help, you know, to ask for guidance. You can be weak and just sit there. And like I said, weakness can cause paralysis in many different ways. But if you just sit there, you're not progressing, you're not growing, you're not going anywhere. You're just going to sit there and you're just going to mold. But in the same sense, like you're saying, even in a spiritual sense or in a faith sense, when you give it to God, he builds strength in the relationship that you have with any spiritual being that you follow. But you build strength in that relationship, and you also get the strength that you need to still get through whatever that situation is. He'll make a way out of no way. I mean, I don't know if everybody knows, but a lot of people know the story of when Moses and the people were fleeing from the king. Like it got to a point to where they had no way. He asked for help and raised his staff, and then he makes a way out of no way. So it also brings about strength, just getting through the weakness. Yeah. And it's not easy. Everybody have been in weak points, and I'm not saying I done got through all of them. I mean, weakness that I done ran away from. Don't let us sit here and think that we just perfect and we didn't get through all this stuff. There's weakness that I still don't like going towards. I got to listen to my own words. But once you get through that and feel that strength and get that strength, that you become a testimony, you become help. You can help somebody else. You can help yourself. You get to that next spot. You like, okay, I've been here before. I know how to get through this. Yeah,
and I like that you said that too, because when you said what you said about, you know, being strong enough to bring it to him, that's it makes me think about the quote, what you submit to, you give power to. So as you submit, that you're giving that entity power, that situation power. But the act of submission, though, is a very powerful transfer of energy. Like once you really lay it down, then that is now you have totally given power, and that should be what you believe in spiritually. If you believe in God, then you should submit to God and give him your problems. You should operate in your strength as you can in your human capacity, but submit. And I think that's powerful that you said that, because even in everyday life, so that it doesn't make sense to give power to a struggling relationship with your kid and saying that you can't build that relationship and submit and give up to that situation, because now you give power to the fact that you're doing bad. Like you shouldn't give power to things you don't want to see grow. You should give power to, again, going back to God. That's where I'm submitting. You got to know when to be vulnerable, when to let your armor off, take it off, and just go ahead and lay it down. Be like, all right, look, I'm not going to be able to do this. And that doesn't make you weak. That makes you aware. You're aware. You know what I'm saying? That's where I think we want to be at, versus that weak spot where it's just like you submitting to everything. You submitting to money. You submitting to jobs. You submitting. You got to stop doing that. And that's like you said. We're not just speaking to people. We speaking to ourselves. That's just real talk. It's just
real talk. What that made me think of is I heard it from Jeezy the first time. I know it's a quote that's been out there, so I ain't gonna say exactly what Jeezy said, but a soldier dies but one death. A coward dies 1,000, right? That's really how I view your weakness. Like, if you go choose to be weak about everything, bro, you dying a little bit every time you lay it down. You really becoming less of what you could be. You are really and truly dying every time you do that. Because now you believe it. And now like, at the back of your mind, I know we're family friendly, but really, in the back of your mind, you telling yourself you a hoe. You saying, I'm a hoe out. Every time. I know I'm a hoe out because that's what I want to be. Choose better for yourself. Right?
Facts. That's real talk. And with that being said, let's kind of bring some awareness real quick. I want to bring up let's bring up the Tyree Nichols situation, right? And I kind of want to add something to this before we Nate, go ahead and tell everybody what happened. Give the overview real quick, because everybody knows we all watch the news, but give like an overview.
Yeah, all I've seen was the news about it. I haven't even watched the video. I didn't really want to see it, but it was 5 black officers that killed the unarmed black guy, and I really don't even remember where it was. Was it Memphis?
Yeah, it was in Memphis. It was Memphis.
Okay, yeah. So, but I mean, it's just another one of those examples of police brutality. Ultimately, this time it was, I think, a little bit more alarming to our community, perhaps, because it was 5 black officers who committed this act. There was one white officer that was involved with it, and I think that's another thing that probably alarms us as well, is the way that it was publicized as solely black officers. After seeing this and however long it had been going on, I didn't hear about the white cop until last week. So, but we know it's the system. We know all of those things. So we ain't got to get into it on that level necessarily. But again, where do we see these changes that we need to see? And if it doesn't even come from having black officers on the force who are going to protect their own, literally, you're here to serve and protect, and you don't even protect your own. You out here killing your own people. So,
They said it was tied to some ex-girlfriend drama too.
Is that true?
I hope that's not true.
Is that true? Has anybody
man? I don't
that's
know.
Not true.
I don't know, man. But it's they said that, and then when I saw that, I was like, why, bro? Like, why are y'all taking this man's life? Why would you think to do something like that as an officer because of something that's going on in your personal life? Like, but I was like, you know what? That aside, right?
Now, that's the important answer though, because really, why you would think to do that as an officer because of something that's going on in your personal life is because of the way that system is set up. And generally, you'll be able to get away with it. That you're going to have certain protections because you're an officer, whether that's certain immunities that you get when it comes to prosecution, different things like that. So I feel like if that is what the whole reasoning was, I guarantee you a part of that mindset has to be, bro, we the law, we above the law, right?
This is an abusive.
Because why else? Like, why?
What'd you say, DeMarcus?
We didn't all fight people. What you say, D?
Well, I said it's an abuse of power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We've all fought people before, right? Everybody have been pissed off. We got into a scrap. But I ain't never sat there and said, well, I'm really finna kill this person. Right. Because I'm not even gonna say that I haven't wanted to, right? It may have been overblown in the moment, but you might have that thought of, I don't know how far this will go today. And then it clicked, but I'm gonna go to jail and I ain't trying to do that. Right. Officers don't really have to have that mindset. They generally go out there and say, I'm not going to go to jail for this. Like, I'm gonna go on paid vacation for this.
Well, to be fair, you know what I'm saying, because we want to kind of keep the playing field level. You know, that's a very difficult job to do. No matter who, what, why, you know what I'm saying? That's a tough job. I really think it's an honorable job, honorable position to hold. But then, as you're saying, there are good and bad in everything. You got good and bad teachers, good and bad officers, good and bad firefighters, good and bad whatever. So the bad seeds are making it to where it's like, man, you know you protected. Like, you know that. So I guess from my side of the house, as I interact with the youth so often, when I'm looking at these kids, man, it just always makes me go back to, like, you know, the traffic stops and what I tell kids about, you know what I'm saying, when you get stopped by the police, you know what I'm saying, interactions that you have with police officers, how you communicate with them. Jarrell, we did a whole podcast on this like a couple years ago, just being very, very respectful, very clear, and understand that you are not in control here. This situation is not your situation. You are not. It's not a situation where you're gonna go in there and start running off at the mouth as a young black boy and think that's gonna go well for you. Sorry, sir. It's not your situation. You may see some of your peers do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And it could be black, it could be white, be Arabian. I don't care who the cop is. I don't care. You shut your mouth and you listen. You take the directions. You be respectful, and then, you know, Lord willing, you gonna go back on your way. You know, and go do what you need to go do. You know what I'm saying? That's what brought about to me.
Another perspective. Cop, no cop. You know, street ties, no street ties, relationships, whatever. And it can't be, it shouldn't be, and it needs to be better. It shouldn't be that easy to kill each other. Any person, period, it shouldn't be that easy, because it's really petty. Whatever the situation was, it was really petty anyway, because, you know, you are serving a entity that has that type of power. So it shouldn't be that you should be taught better or trained better or whatever. It shouldn't be that easy to kill anybody anyway, unless it's in life or death situation, you know, or protecting yourself.
Fight or flight, maybe.
But outside of the uniform, it shouldn't be that easy for us to kill one another. And I'm going back to the black on black thing. It shouldn't be that easy for us to kill one another.
We desensitized, though. As a culture, we desensitized. We talked about this in the past. It's just now death is no longer a crazy thing to people. You know what I'm saying? It's now just
first, bro. Like, think about that. Like, this is why I feel like we becoming the old people. We start talking about the music and stuff, right? But literally, this is what most songs are about. This is what a good majority of rap songs are about. It's some stuff my little brother listen to, and I'll be like, bro, all they do is run down on their ops. Like, that's it. Every day you wake up hunting to kill or thinking you finna get killed. And if that's really what the reality is that we creating, we ain't gonna never get where we need to be, bro. Like,
but we go ahead, bro. Listen.
No, I'm saying we really all we got out here, dog. Like, we can't talk about it from the standpoint of racism and the world, the power structures against black folks and all of that, and then we out here taking ourselves out too. That ain't gonna never. We need strength in numbers. At the end of the day, all right. So we keep on decreasing our numbers. What we doing?
Well, we've always been our biggest problem, and you always gonna be your biggest problem individually. Facts. So I feel like when you don't got no real goals, though, like the music you're talking about, if you ain't got no real goals, then you looking to seek that inner competitor, that inner hunter that's inside of you that our ancestors were all the way back. Like when we used to go out and kill and bring back for the family. Like, it's like, bro, like you're gonna want to like live out some of that inner drive within you. That's why you have to have goals that you attack, so you're not attacking people. Like, I feel like you have to really have like a vision for your life. You got to have good people around you, because I think it's natural to have that testosterone. You got testosterone, bro. Like, you're gonna want to go and be driven to, like, compete for things and stuff like that. But you can't make it to where it's like now you just looking for the ops all the time, like you said. Like, you gotta have something that in your life that's guiding you, or else then you'll be misguided, and then you get that rush when you going out and you toting a gun. You know what I'm saying? Because now you got some power, and that's that misappropriation of energy, bro. Like, you got to figure out a way to kind of get your energy going in the right direction, because we need energy. Like, you need fire in your belly. You need to get going sometimes. Like, that's why we work out. That's why we, certain people, they be in the stock market, they get that rush. You feel me? Like, it's like that's a natural part of life. Like, but you can't, it can't be misguided though. Because now when it's misguided, now you go out here, you putting one of our brothers in the ground. Now you a problem. Now you a menace. And once you become a menace, then now we don't need you here. We don't need you. We good without you. They do what they need to do with you, put you in, because we can't use you. You know what I'm saying? At that point, your mind's too gone. Your mind too gone.
That's right. But you know what? They go back to strength and weakness at the same time too. You too weak to have compassion. At the end of the day, you're really too weak to say, I'm all for, hey, y'all got an issue, box it out. Squab it out like we used to. Go ahead, get it over with, move on with your life. But either you are too weak to be able to accept that you might have lost a fight, or you didn't come out on top of whatever situation it is. To actually feel the need to kill somebody is always been a weakness to me. Because look at what you're really doing. Chances are you're going to get caught. You're going to jail. You were so mentally weak in the moment that you threw away your life and somebody else's life. And that's just stupid.
Yeah. And you don't just affect that one person you kill, you affect the world. That's the thing people got to realize. You affect that one person has a family. They might have kids. Everybody has parents, cousins. So that's affecting, that's putting trauma on a whole bunch of people that you don't even know. So think about everything before I hope you have to never kill anybody, but you got to think about all of that before you, pull that trigger or whatever you do to somebody. So,
and that kind of segues into what the next topic was I wanted to share with you guys was just talking about how, we talk about big dreams, and I don't really like talking about dreams like that, but dreaming is important. Like, we need to dream. We need to have an imagination. We need to be free thinkers and see more of our lives and of the world. And when you talk about dreaming, I think it's very hard to dream big, to see more, to do more if you're being selfish. You know what I'm saying? You thinking about yourself. It's me. I got to get my bag. I got to make sure that my girl good. I got to make sure that it's like self-care is good. We always talk about self-care versus being selfish, like, and all that. Like, yeah, you need to take care of yourself. But at the same time, when you having these dreams and you going on a path of prosperity, you know what I'm saying, of love, trying to be a better man, be a better woman, you gotta, like, I feel like you have to see other people. Like, you have to see other people. You have to be empathetic. You have to understand that every situation, you're not by yourself. And I think that's where a lot of people that I would love, like, people that's my people, but they struggling with money. They be struggling with money because all their money goals are tied to just them. It's like, you talking about how much money you need just for you. I feel like being a single person is almost one of the hardest things to do as a grown person, because you making money just to make it for you, and you don't have no outside reasons to bring in more cash flow. So it's like sometimes it's hard to drive yourself, push yourself to that level where you need to go, because it's different, bro. When I'm hustling for my daughter, like, that's different. Like, I'm not leaving this job on time because I know that this is for her. Like, I'm doing this for her. Like, I gotta go when it's time to go, but I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I'm creating something, or this is for something else. So, I mean, could y'all speak to that a little bit? I mean, maybe y'all's thoughts, like, on the whole dreaming idea in general. Oh, that boy done cracked the whole book. What book you got going over there, librarian MrliftN'Go?
Keep talking, I got you.
But nah, man, what y'all think, man, about that in regards to, like, dreams and the importance of them, like, being involved with others? Having that involvement of others and how that pushes us along our journeys.
That's important, man. I think life is about community and being a collective. right? So your dreams, it might be yours, but everything that you put out into the world really has some kind of effect on the world. So affected for the better, right? And again, it's Black History Month. When are you gonna say that? It's Black History Month.
Yeah.
I'm always focused on Black folks. End of the day, all right? What can we do to be better as Black people? So maybe that's my idea. Maybe that's your idea. You know, my dream, Martin had a dream, not for Martin Luther King and his family to be straight, but for Black people to be better, right? For us as a whole to be collectively treated better. So I think that's really what that whole thing comes down to, is if you want a better world for yourself, it has to be a better world, right? It has to be an accessible, better world for everybody. So
that's facts. It does have to be a better world. Go ahead.
The more, you can be so selfish that you lose a blessing. You can share with somebody else and they might help you get to your goal. So I think a lot of people think, one deep, well, I can do this all by myself, but you can't. And you never know when you share, what you're doing, share what you're going through. Somebody can be like, oh man, I got a friend doing that. I can link you up with him. He can help you start that business, So I think trying to be selfish, trying to hold on to everything, you're actually probably holding on to that blessing you might get from somebody else. So think about that too.
Go ahead, Pastor.
I was going to add, because I just read this, and I was just going to add to what Kerry was saying, and to give some insight on, especially people of low income, people of color, and could be white or whatever. But Abraham Maslow was a real famous psychologist, and he had what they call the pyramid of growth, and the lowest level was survival. And to go back what Kerry was saying, that's a very selfish, self-idolized level that people never grow at. It's called the levels of growth. And they are survival, status, freedom, and purpose. Purpose being the highest. A lot of people don't reach their purpose. A lot of people don't even reach freedom. And I ain't even talking, this is not even financial. A lot of people don't even reach freedom because they so stuck in that survival mode to where all they can think about is self. Mm-hmm. They can't think about the next step. They can't understand freedom. They can't understand the status of their position that they're in because they're in such a survival mode. And Kerry, you are so right. They're in such a survival mode that they're so selfish that they will, until they realize that you need people, you need to broaden your horizon, you need to have another perspective to grow, then you'll be stuck in survival mode and eventually be so selfish that you'll never grow. And then you hear a lot of people complain about, as us being Black men, we've heard this, never identified it in this way, but we've heard so many people stuck in this for the entirety of their whole life because they only think about self and they never grow, and they're in the same place, talking about the same thing, complaining about the same job because they always are worried about self. And I commend you on that, Kerry. I don't even know if you even ever read this, but that what you said was so powerful. And yet, to me, just reading this and for you to put that and put them two together without even trying, like, we got to understand that, yes, survival mode is hard. Survival mode can make you selfish, but you will stay there, and you will probably never grow until you realize that it's not just you in this world.
No, so I appreciate you saying that, and I read it too. In the minimalist, the minimalist in you is a survivor. That's what that person is. That minimalist, the person that does the bare minimum, just gets by, that's a survivor. And we don't never want to be there because at the end of the day, those aren't the people that change this world for us. They're not the ones that made it to where we have homes to live in and we got, TVs to watch and use these high-tech cell phones. Like, no, that's not paradigm changes. That doesn't do anything. Just being a survivor. You just literally, you're going to have your very small existence of, a maximum of 100 years, and you're going to go, and then there'll never be any legacy. Your kids are always, they're going to be like, dang, I kind of wish I had more. Everybody's going to wish they got more from you, but you have a special place. So I think we built on that. we just, I just think that's big in regards to dreams. And then going from there, I wanted to kind of segue to resumes because, we always talk about career ascension education, but we haven't really hit on, career stuff that much. So I just kind of want to hit on this a little bit. And I know we're going to have some contrasting ideas, but I'm not going to use the term I used when I brought this topic up to the group. But what I'm going to say to y'all is that I feel like resumes, I mean, they're just, they're not good. How about that? They're not what they say they are.
Mm-mm.
We are people. I feel like we are people, and yes, we put resumes in to get jobs. Like that's a very important thing. Last year, I actually spent like 2 weeks like running a workshop for my students, teaching them how to create resumes because it's important. You're not gonna get it in front of people of high status and corporate without a resume. You're gonna have to have a resume saying what you've done, because it pretty much gives people a brief overview of who they're about to get in regards to employment, church help, whatever you do. But the other side of that I want to bring to this is that your resume doesn't mean nothing once you show up. Like your resume is trash once you after you gave your resume to the person that's looking at it. It's time to go to work. You know what I'm saying? You get the job, it's time to go to work because nobody care about everything you done up until that point. It's all about what you could do for me now. What have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately?
Yeah, what have you done for me lately? If you ain't done nothing for me lately, then you ain't nothing. I don't care how many doctors, lawyers, certifications, different high standing jobs. I don't care if you donated $5 million to Ukraine and Georgia, you built a bridge. I don't care. Because today you gotta go to work.
Ukraine and Georgia. But
Georgia.
You gotta go to work, bro. That's all I'm saying, bro. So what's y'all ideas on it?
You're 100% right. I hire people.
Yeah.
I have hired the most the person with the most experience, the one with the most degrees, and they sucked. I'm not saying names because they don't work there anymore. They thought that they thought their resume made them a boss. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like I don't have to do. I already done what I had to do. I don't have to come here and work. Yes, you do. Like Kerry just said.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
So, I like the young, hungry people. Or even if you do have a long resume, I still like people that have hunger. So come in with that resume. You can say, yeah, I did this, did that, but I want you to focus on the job at hand right now. I want you to be great at this job. You've been great at all these other jobs, but I need you to be great at this job. So you're right.
Great at it because you're over here looking for a new one.
Yeah, what's really that resume gets you in the door, the diploma, the degrees get you in the door, but you have to work, put in the work.
I understand y'all bosses and all that stuff. Shoot, I could come. I remember being a worker, so I could come from the other side. Like if I put in the work and I put it on my resume, then why should I have to go through certain hoops and ladders if I've already shown in my resume, if you check my resume and my references and everything, and I've
that don't mean
it's not hoops and ladders. Are you gonna come do your job, bro? When I was the hiring manager at 24, I've hired NASM trainers, I've hired ACE trainers, I've hired whatever it is trainers that had this and that. I hired master trainers, and they all sucked. Each and every one of them. I was like, bro, y'all are garbage at what you do because you're not here to do the work. You here to say, well, I got the education, so I'm in the door. That's not really how it works. Like, you have to come and do your job. That's really what the key is. Now, you're absolutely right. Having it on paper is important because I need to know who I'm bringing in to talk to. But come in, and to me, it's more about being able to apply the knowledge that you've gained, apply the experience that you've gained from other jobs that you've had, right? If you're not doing that, then what good are you to me as a worker?
As an employer, ain't that your job?
No, my job is to tell you what I expect.
I have proven to you that I can do the work. You read my resume, you check my references, I'm willing and able, I can do the work, I'm capable, I have the education, and then your job to show me what it is that you want me to accomplish on this this plan.
And we train you.
You're gonna get trained, but you gotta still do it after I train you. I can't hold your hand every day, especially if your resume is long. I'm not finna say, hey, look, okay, this is the job. Boom, this is how we do it here. Now the training wheels got to come off. But if I'm walking you around the block all the time, then what are we really doing here? I'm doing your job and my job. You got to go.
Well, that's what I was saying, part of the training process. Like, if you train me and I'm willing and able, then yeah, I can do the job.
No, I'm not talking about for training. I'm talking about once you done got through and you are showing me still that you are incapable.
You got to go. No matter what your resume say. Think about Urban Meyer. I know y'all don't like Urban Meyer around here. But hey, he had the resume. He did what he had to do. He got to the NFL. You got to go, bro. You ain't doing, no, I don't care who you are. Yeah. You're not doing the work here. You got to go. You got to go. So,
that's a valuable lesson. You know, resumes, you got resumes and relationships too, bro. Like, you got some people, man, their resume be stacked with you. Like, you like, man, you did a lot in the past. I don't want to let you go. But right now, you really dead weight. You really dead weight. And
y'all
you got
no point of a resume.
No, listen. This is what I'm saying.
Point.
Let me get my thought out. Let me get my thought out, man. Let me get my thought out. All I'm saying is, thank you, brother. Thank you. All I'm saying is they are useful. I believe that they are useful, but I think that the thing is once you get to the point where you're being ineffective as the employee, as the whoever, the boss, manager, whatever you are, if you're ineffective and you making the team go down, right? Because you just can't do it. Your resume is garbage now. It's garbage now. I need somebody that's gonna come in that's maybe younger, that has not as much experience, but they got that energy that we need. Because we need to go this way, and you got to stand right here, like, because of whatever you got going on. And it's cool. And I think depending on certain people, and it's about people. That's what the main thing is. It's like, you don't hire, like, people are not hiring a resume, they're hiring people. So you the most important resume is your brand. So, like, I feel like, you big on brand building, Mr. Lift-N-Go. When you build a brand, everybody knows the brand. It's like, what I'm saying, you got a brand of who you are within your family. You got friends, people that's going to speak on your name. They're going to say, oh, man, DeMarcus does great work. He came by, he was on time, he was fast, he was, respectful. That's more important than that physical resume that you hand in or you email to somebody. It's the stuff that people are saying about you, because a lot of times resume is not getting you hired, especially now in coaching. I remember in coaching, bro, we used to, Cash used to get hired off word of mouth. That was it, bro. I think my first job, I don't know if my boss even looked at my resume. He asked me questions that I was like, bro, I put that on the resume, bro. But he was just like, oh yeah, I remember I had read it. I just, I just kind of get a refresher on that.
I also need to know if he was lying. I didn't lie on plenty of resume.
A lot of people do.
I did fabricate it up a little bit, make it sound like I did more than what I did, because it's just your ticket in the door. Yeah. Now, when you get here, all your resume tell me is, okay, I want to see the show. Now, come give me a good show. You give me a good show, we can move forward with this hiring process. And you got to keep on showing them, because at some point, once you run out of tricks, I'm going to say, hey, okay, well, that's not what I'm looking for. I need to get somebody else in.
What's the point of the resume? Y'all
totally get you in the door.
I think get my point out. I let you get your point out.
I thought you asked the question. You asked us the question, so we answered the question.
Yeah, I got more questions. Y'all totally discrediting the resume. In fact, like you said, once you get here and show me the show, then what I need a resume for? Like, hold on, Nate. Hey, God dang, hold on. You got your head shaved all clean. You ready to go today? What's the point of me giving the resume? Why shouldn't I just get an interview and be counting off a merit and then start from there? What's the whole point of resume? What's the point of me showing you what I know, what I've done, what I can do, if you telling me I'm gonna hire you and then you got to show me this, that, and third, and keep showing me? What's the whole point of the paper then?
Because I need to know. How do I know that I'm not just hiring somebody who has zero experience? I don't know who you are. You have to show me something. Like, that's what I'm saying. Your resume is just getting you in the door. Because look, when I was hiring trainers, right? If you had straight up, if your resume says you were NASM certified, I'm calling you that day and I'm bringing you in for an interview. Period. I don't care if you graduated school. I don't care anything else. If you've never had a training job, if you were NASM certified, you have an interview with my company. Period. If you have one of the lower level certs, Now I'm gonna look and see like, okay, did you go to school? Are you a kinesics major? Are you, at least have you worked in the gym before? What can I do to make myself comfortable with hiring you? But I need to see something.
Yeah. You can't just come to we need psychology degrees or counseling degrees. So I need to see that. But once you get the job, if you walk around and all the clients are like, he don't know what he's doing. And I sit in a session and you just sitting there staring at the client, you got to go. You got to produce.
Some jobs have requirements. Like when I got hired as a professor, the number one requirement was you have to have a master's or a doctorate in kinesiology.
Yeah.
So my resume shows you I have a master's of kinesiology. And then but guess what? My resume said it, they still ask for my transcripts because I can tell you I got it, but if I can't prove it, what do it matter?
Okay, so what's the difference between a resume and an application? What y'all talking about is application.
No.
Application just is you saying you want to do it, I feel like. But then when you put your resume in, then your resume is how you get past the gatekeeper. Because every business got a gatekeeper. So you're not getting past the gatekeeper if you ain't got a resume. Now, once you get past the gatekeeper, then now, so you go through the interview process. And now we don't got all these just Pookie from around the corner ain't never did nothing showing up sitting in front of me. I'm like, bro, come on, Pookie. You ain't never did no job like this, bro. Go ahead, go home, Pookie. Like, what I'm saying? We don't need to have them conversations. Like, this is like, I have more qualified individuals that I can sit in front of that have maybe at least done this to a certain degree. And then when you get here, you gotta go to work. So
I would say applications are the meaningless part of it.
And press keyword and then press NASM certified. What's the whole point of all this?
No, so look, Pete,
that's gonna be on their resume.
A lot of the jobs that I've been hired for, I be on Indeed doing the ones that say quick apply. I don't even feel like doing the whole application. I want to send you my resume and you say, okay, I'm interested. And now, once we have that conversation, now I'm telling you I can come and do the job. The application part of things, I think that's just like paperwork that people got to have on file or something.
Yeah,
I've gotten plenty of jobs where it's been like, okay, I saw your resume, we interviewed. Oh, you're hired, but can you do this piece of paper just so we can have it on file as your application, right? The application to me is the meaningless part in what we're talking about. But you got to be able to get in the door.
Yeah, like the HR screen, like Kerry said, if we didn't have resumes, I'd be doing 500,000 interviews. The resumes screen people out, and then once they get past that, they send me their resume. I don't even look at the application. I just get the resume before I do the interview. Look at the resume, and I'm like, oh, okay, this, and this. But once I hire you, you have to show the skills on your. If you just walk around like I ain't never used. Oh, I'm proficient in computer skills. Then I give you a computer. You're like, oh, I don't know how to get on the internet. You got to go.
It's like you don't know. It's like a workout.
It's Microsoft Word. That's a bit. That's a bit.
Big Slip gonna be on his desk tomorrow.
The market is just being a contrarian right now. He knows this.
You see how his face is all scrunched up like he really
like he really mad. Like he don't understand what we're saying.
Yeah,
and nobody understand what you saying.
Hey, real talk, but
but for real though, they got people that I know people that can take a class of people that may have. Let me use this perspective. What about the person that doesn't have the qualification, but they've been in the job so long to where they know the job, can do the job, but don't have the actual qualification to put on the resume?
How do you not if you've been in the job and you can do the job? Because that's what's on your resume. If your resume says I've done the job for 10 years.
No, like an assistant, assistant who knows the job, but I could be an IT assistant and do all the work that the IT does. I know it from front to back. You just heard Jerome say this. I know everything from front to back. I can tell you everything, but I just don't have the actual certification that says that I am, IT whatever. Or like Jerome was telling us yesterday about. I hope Jerome don't mind us talking. Well, everybody know who he is, but as far as being qualified to be a certain thing, but actually knowing everything that qualification takes. Some people have.
You don't have like somebody,
know the job, but they just don't have the paper to say, I can hold that job.
That's okay, because we can get you the paper. If you come to me and you can show me again, hey, I've been around this, I've been learning this for 5 whatever years. Okay, cool. You never got the actual paper, But that a lot of jobs are willing to actually get you certified when they feel that you're a worthy candidate for this certification and stuff like that.
When they know you, they gotta know you. Like you're not finna just be blank showing up without the certification, and then we're gonna be like, oh yeah, we'll work with you since you have the experience. A lot of times they gotta know you.
People like that, they probably get hired within the job. Like it's almost like you just said, my assistant director ain't got the qualification to be a director, but he's been here for 10 years and he's killing it. It's almost like you know the job, we know you. We're gonna move you up, and we can teach you what you need to know. But if I went to go to a doctor, if I tried to go apply to be a doctor, even though I probably watched a million doctor shows, I don't have any qualifications to be a doctor. They're not gonna hire me unless I've worked my way up.
I still hope not.
Yeah, please.
A 20-year-old in Houston that had his own practice, and he wasn't a doctor. But anyway.
Hey, bro, but jobs, let's be real, man. Let's be real about jobs. Jobs can really turn into a finesse real quick. I mean, let's be real. There's a lot of people.
But you can also, if you finesse your resume enough, you can get in the door. And now that's really where the finesse come in at. Because all you got to do is get in front of somebody. Now, get in there and talk your talk. Because it might be good enough that they look, hey, man, you know what? The dude said he did this, and that. I think it's a lie, but I like it.
But see, the finesse part of it is why I say resumes really aren't everything. These people that's out here like that's actually honestly building their resumes, right? With these certifications, they're like, I need another certification on top of my certification so I can be qualified for this new position. And it's like they feel disrespected when they don't get the job. And I'm like, bro, like, don't nobody care. Like, you gotta be able to do it. Like, you gotta be able to show up and do it. And if don't nobody believe in you, bro, your resume don't mean nothing. Like, you could be a terrible person with a great resume, never get a job. Never get a job. Like, nobody wants you.
That's the other side of stuff. Is you might have all the qualifications in the world, and I don't want to be around you. I don't want you to work with my team. I don't like who you are.
Just a terrible person. Yeah. Look at DeMarcus.
What DeMarcus?
he like the way you told him to hold on. He like that.
I'm sorry.
Playing nice, DeMarcus. What's up, man? What's your thoughts, man? What you about to say?
No. Y'all keep discrediting resumes and then coming back and be like I just need to know the person. Like, I felt like that too. Like, you can call it finessing or whatever. I'll put whatever you need on the resume or application, because I've always had this mindset. If I get the interview, I got the job. I don't know.
Why? Why do you have that mindset? Why do you have that mindset?
To where I've had the interview and I didn't get offered the job. I've turned down jobs,
but why? But why, bro? Why?
Because I don't even believe people even read the paper. I think they look for keywords and then they bring you in, and then it's like, okay, now tell me about yourself. Or I don't like the way y'all look at me. I'm leaving.
You just said our point.
You're saying exactly what we're saying. Look at those beautiful shower curtains, though. But you just said what we just said, bro.
It's certain jobs though that they're looking for a certain time frame. Like, I didn't look at some things and it literally will pop up and ask you, do you have 5 years experience to this? Or that's why I like Indeed, because they don't let you know right away sometimes, right? I can put on there, I want you to have 5+ years of experience. But all the question says is, how many years of experience do you have? And maybe you're telling the truth, maybe you lying, but maybe you don't shoot super high on your lie and you say 3. Well, then it's gonna pop up red, say, oh, well, they want 5 years of experience. That's what your resume is for. It's some things that you do have to really have qualifications for. I think that's fair.
My first teaching job, I ain't had no certification.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
When I interviewed,
to be fined.
But when
I interviewed, I ain't had a certification. I ended up getting it.
We can get you certified because you don't necessarily have to.
You are placing our kids' future and lives in your hands.
But check this out. Check this out. They put me through a mock lesson. They made me come in there and teach a mock lesson. I had to have a bell ringer. I had to teach a lesson. I had to close it out. And then I had to teach it to all the staff that was in the room. And they were pretty much auditing me on how I taught. And then they also went through my experiences, through my college classes and things like that, and seeing what I had done up until that point. So what I'm saying is because they like me, just like people like you, just like people like us as good people, they'll give us chances, right? Because we're good people. And that's what I'm saying. Stop relying on paper and certifications and degrees. Y'all's stuff don't really matter as much as who you are as a person.
Marcus agree with us. Man,
he do agree with us. He agree with us. And you know what? This segues perfectly into, I'll just, say it, and y'all tell me what y'all think about it, saying leaders accepting everything. Us being leaders, we always have to accept everything totally. And I told y'all about the Jocko Willink book I'm reading. I love it, bro, because it's like, he's like, everything's on you. He brought up a story where he said when he was in the Navy and he was a lieutenant or the colonel or whoever it was that leads the troops, when you're at war, he was saying that, a lot of times the difference between the great ones and the poor leaders is they always would search for that one person to blame when somebody would die or when people would die in war, because, nobody wants to hold that responsibility that, man, I got this soldier just killed. And he was saying that when he was in that situation, it was almost like he knew he was absolutely going to get fired. He was like, man, I got to find out, like, why did this go wrong? But then he said, he came to the epiphany that, man, I just got to pretty much say that, I didn't clearly state the objectives. My soldiers didn't know the expectations. They didn't know they were supposed to be at this point at this time. Friendly fire happened and we were attacked. This was my fault. And he told his higher ups that, and then he gained trust from his people. He said at that point, he stayed, they kept him, he gained trust with his people, and they worked with him because they understood that, okay, now we don't have to blame each other. He as a leader has taken responsibility for what went wrong. Now we can go and just operate. And that's something that I wanted to kind of bring to y'all, talking about leadership. Like, bro, we leaders, like we all lead people, some capacity, accepting everything. What's y'all's thoughts on that? Like that no nonsense approach to just, accepting, like taking it on, because it's heavy. It's real heavy on your brain when you do something that's real, like, something ain't right. You ain't do it right, but then one of your subordinates really does it wrong, like way worse than you even. You're like, bro, I didn't even tell you to do that. But it's like, you have to still own that.
Yeah, it's on you. I mean, we go back to football coaching and players. Sometimes, for the most part, they're not gonna fire the quarterback. Nope. They're gonna fire the coach. You know what I'm saying? So I think as a leader, you are supposed to prepare the people, under you. So like you just said, I think when I mess up and I let my team know, yo, that was on me. I didn't put it on the schedule. One of our clients missed an appointment. That's my fault. That builds that trust. And they're like, oh man, like you can mess up too. It's almost like, I'm glad you said that. Like, I thought I was gonna get written up. I thought I was gonna get in trouble, but you took the blame. I trust you. And they almost will do anything for you once you build that trust. It's almost like I could say, hey, stop what you're doing. Go pick up this client. This client's in crisis. And I need you to do it right now. And they don't even question it. It's almost like, you're not going to send me on a dummy mission. I trust you. Let me go get this client. So I think as a leader, yeah, you got to take the fall. As a team captain, you take the blame. One person late to a meeting, team captain run. So you take the fall, you take the blame, but it builds that strength and that trust. So
I say the same thing. It's really, you're leading by example is what it always is, right? You have to be the key part of everything. Like everything does come down to you, whether that's preparation, whether that's literally going back into like the resume stuff. Once I hire you, I'm still your leader, right? I have to make sure you're here doing your job. I have to make sure you're prepared to do your job and you're fully equipped to do it. So using the war example, using the football example, if I didn't make sure y'all was going to be, perfectly on 10 with everything, that's me. I came up short on it. So that's what being a leader really is.
That's facts, man. What's up, DeMarcus?
Deacon,
Pastor.
He hit it again. This other book that I was reading, I don't know if I'm going to promote the name, but anyways, it says instead of blaming external events, you have to shift to seeing yourself as both the creator and the solver of issues. And it's kind of like taking you through steps of being a leader. And I think that's what leaders do. Like if you want to put in an athletic sense, you take a Kobe or whoever, like, yes, the quarterback, the star of the team, they create the platform for everybody to flourish, but they also got to be the solver of the platform when it cracks and falls. So you're always gonna go to whoever's the head, whoever's the leader, whoever's the one that's ultimately creating the whole thing for everybody to flourish. Even in building a house, you're gonna go to the building and say that you're not gonna go to the people who are working there. You're gonna go to the building and say like they did this wrong, or what are y'all doing wrong? It wasn't built right. It always goes there, and that is the sign of a great leader, because you're taking the blame because you're also going to process it and fix it to where we can move forward and everybody can go in a safe pattern. Everybody's protected, everybody's safe, but I'm going to take the blame so that we can get past this point and get back to resolving whatever the issue is.
Yeah, that's facts. Because like when you talk about what you're talking about, to be those people or that person, it's not for everybody at all times because of it, the responsibility that it comes with. Because when you take that blame, sometimes it doesn't go as well as what I said in my example, where, you know what I'm saying, people accepted it. Sometimes everybody like, you suck. Like, you are terrible. We don't need you here. You're irresponsible. You know what I'm saying? You're not the person we need. And they let you go, or the people, you know, they publicly castrate you and stuff like that. Like, people get done bad out here as leaders because, I mean, leaders, you're the one. Like, you, at the end of the day, somebody, we have to have it all fall on somebody, because that's just what happens. Like, if we can't put it on somebody or some group, then we'll blame each other, and then we'll internally just start putting holes in our ship. Now our ship's going down because we don't know who to blame. We all like, because the leader keeps saying, well, it was his fault. He should have fixed it. And he's like, dang it, just go ahead and put another hole in the ship. And then now it's like, you gotta, somebody has to, or some people have to take that responsibility. What'd you say, bro? Yeah, I didn't hear that.
No, I was just telling the people that ship with
The ship with a ship. Yeah, not the other one. But leaders though, also I want to put this out there too as well. It's not just quote unquote the ones in the front. Everybody's a leader of something. Everybody's a leader. You lead something. If you are a custodian, you lead your cleaning unit or your job. Like, you're the leader of your job. If somebody was to come in and have to learn your job, you should be able to teach it to them to the T, because it's what you do. You're the leader in that space. Like, everybody has a leadership role. You just haven't identified it yet. And that's probably why you're not that good at what you're doing if you're not doing well, because you haven't identified the fact that you are the leader in that spot. Like, you the one. Like, anybody else can do you like you.
Yeah, you gotta leave one foot in front of the other.
Thanks. But y'all got anything for the people though, man? I think we unlocked their lights.
Change the light bulbs.
Change them. I gotta change mine, matter of fact.
They all shot.
I wasn't really on the honey-do list type game. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like trying to fix all kind of stuff around the house, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been proud of myself. Been working with my hands lately. Pull out them hammers. Look, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's different. What?
I told y'all he was sitting on the toilet. I told y'all at the beginning of the show today.
I'm assuming that he's showing us the toilet because he cleaned the toilet, right?
Damn right I did.
Did you when you got done? Did you look like that? Look at yourself and just shook your head like, yes, sir.
That's why I'm in the bathroom. I don't want nobody to think I'm on punishment. I'm in the bathroom because it's clean. I like the way it feels right now.
You use Pine Sol? You use Pine Sol or Fabuloso?
Did he just freeze up?
He did.
Probably ain't no good reception.
Oh, yeah. How is your grown behind gonna be on punishment anyway? And why would you go to the bathroom? That's okay. I don't even want to know.
That's okay. Well, I mean, Be Like Podcast, man. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, man. We like to have a good time. Make sure y'all kind of get ready to purchase the Light Leadership book coming out, The Laws of Light, y'all. Y'all need this energy. We got a lot of great stuff in this book that we building, man, and it's for the people. This is all the stuff that we talk about in the podcast. It's all the stuff we gain and experience. We putting in good work for it, so it's gonna be coming soon. So y'all be on the lookout for that. Support us.
Put us on the book club.
Oh yeah, that's yeah, facts. You on that? But man, Be Like Podcast, baby, we out. Peace. All right, I had to stop that because